What's up YouTube, PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you a roster update for the NPBF. So I kind of told myself at the beginning of the season I was going to try to not make any transactions throughout the season, but I've kind of decided against that, mostly because there are so many good water types to mess around with in this format that I really wanted to give some of them a shot. So yeah, and I kind of realized there's some holes in my team, mainly in the bulk department, that I needed to address very quickly. So let's get right into this. So the mons I decided to drop first was Arctivish. Now, I'm not saying it underperformed in our week 2 match, because it really didn't. It did the best that it could based upon the matchup and the situation, and it was my own fault that it didn't do great. However, looking at future matchups and looking at the mon as a whole and what it would probably do in a lot of those matchups, it just, like, I did not see it coming to any games ever again. Pretty much. That was the situation we were in. I did not see it coming to another game, ever. Like, no matter what. And that's just the way it is. Unfortunately, the Arctivish just isn't good. Like, it's the red-headed stepchild of the fossil family this generation. Because, like, the other ones, I feel, all have some kind of usefulness, right? Arctivish just doesn't do anything. He's like, I feel like he's even still slightly worse than Arctozolt. And, like, obviously Dracozolt and Dracovish are just, like, ridiculously strong. So, yeah. But, it's just not good. It's not a good mon. It's going to struggle 9 times out of 10 to do anything any week. So I figured, rip the band-aid off now and just get him out of here. Get him out of the way. So we dropped him. We're also dropping Leonardo the Blastoise. Now, this one was a little bit more difficult to decide on, because I kind of wanted to mess around with Shell Smash shenanigans. I kind of wanted to test out like a scarfed water spout kind of set, kind of situation in rain, maybe do something like that. The main reason I had it on the team was for Brave Bird. Or not Brave Bird. Why did I say Brave Bird? Rapid Spin. I don't know why my brain was on Brave Bird. Yeah. So, yeah, I wanted Rapid Spin as an option for hazard removal, but looking at my team, what I have to set hazards and what I have to remove hazards as it is, it just didn't make sense. I didn't need Rapid Spin. So my team has one hazard setter, and that is Mega Swampert. Mega Swampert doesn't want to have to set Stealth Rocks. It doesn't want to run Stealth Rocks. So, yeah. Like, there are some matchups that I know that I'm going to bring Stealth Rock in, for sure, but for the most part, I'm probably never going to bring Stealth Rocks. So, I don't need to worry about removing my own hazards very often. Very rarely will I have to. Right? As far as hazard removal goes, I have 4 Defoggers. One of which has Prankster. I've got Pelipper, I have Volcanion, I have Whimsicott, and I have Hydreigon. All of which can defog. So, realistically, I don't need much more hazard removal. So, Blastoise essentially does nothing for my team. It's literally just going to sit there. It can be bulky, but it's not like the bulkiest it can be. And I just don't see it being super beneficial going forward. So I dropped those 2. And my goal was to get bulk. I wanted fat for my team. So I grabbed the 2 fattest mons, 2 of, like, the 3 or 4 fattest mons that were still sitting left in my pool. I will actually pull up my pool really quick to go over some of the other things I considered. Okay? Because when I say I had a lot of bulk left, I had a lot of fat left sitting around, right? Alomomola was something I considered, but I already had a really big Wish Passer, and Alomomola and Vaporeon does that job a lot better. So Vaporeon was a no. Okay? As far as Milotic was a big forerunner initially when I was looking at this. Pyukumuku I considered. Wishy-Washy can be very, very bulky. I'd have to be very careful to keep it above 25% health, but with a very strong Wish Passer in Vaporeon and Wishy-Washy having not great HP stat, I definitely felt I could do that. But alas, I didn't go there. Lapras is kind of bulky, takes another water immunity off the board. Could have been interesting. Same as Mantine. Could have been very interesting. Another potential Swift Swimmer as well. Water flying type, high maximum accuracy hurricanes firing off in the rain. Could be really strong stuff. Poliwrath isn't bulky. I don't know why I consider it. Maybe another water ground type to use as a specifically bulky mon. Something like Quagsire or Seismitoad. Could have been good options. Decided against those. Quillfish with Intimidate. Decided against that as well. Tentacruel I would still get Rabbit Spin, but I'd still have something very bulky, and it would give me Toxic Spikes. Interesting thought process, but not for me. And that kind of covers the majority of things. But, well, I didn't mention one of them because it ties into the other one, but these two. The first one, I wanted to basically replace it like a pure type and a dual type for a pure type and a dual type. So I picked up my pure water type, being 6 seconds, the Suicune. This thing does one thing in life. Be the bulkiest thing in the universe and make people hate it for doing so. You see the defensive stats. That's all you need to see. Inner Focus to prevent flinches could be useful in certain matchups. Pressure, though, 9 times out of 10 is going to be the ability, because it can very easily stall an opposing mon out of all of its moves. It has set up in things like Calm Mind and such to allow it to properly stall people out, which is gross. And once it gets a Calm Mind or 2 up, this thing can just sit in front of a lot of mons and not care. And stall out all their PP, struggle them to death, and just win games. That is what Suicune does for us. It wins games. And that is what I'm hoping Suicune can do for us going forward in this season. I found in, prepping for... I found in my prepping for Gavino that, my team, while it has some bulk, is lacking just pure raw bulk. Because there were a lot of situations that, I had mons that required a lot of investment to barely live. Or to, just barely live after rocks. And stuff like that. So Suicune won't have that kind of problem 9 times out of 10. And I think that is what makes me so happy to have it on the team. I love using Suicune. I used it in a recent league where I won a championship in. So I'm very excited about having Suicune again. It's going to put in a lot of work for us for sure. And then our second pickup is a dual type. Now, I'm so happy that Mac did not draft this. Because it is the classic, the good old boy, Paul the Slowbro. Now, Paul is a reference, obviously, to if you ever watched old Hayden videos, Hayden's a very popular Pokemon content creator. He pretty much names like all of his Slowbros Paul. Paul is great. By the way, 6 Seconds, if you don't know who 6 Seconds is, you've never watched the Pokemon Cypher, and you haven't listened to one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best rap artists on YouTube currently. He's fantastic. But anyway, Paul. He's really, really bulky. He has Regenerator, which is really great to have because I don't have to worry as much about trying to pass wishes to him. He's got a lot of great coverage moves, which is important. Body press, standard water and psychic coverage, fire coverage, ice coverage, a lot of really good stuff to benefit the team. This thing can fill so many different roles, and most importantly, it has teleport. Teleport is going to be so crucial for grabbing momentum and holding on to it as long as we can in matchups. Getting those nice slow switches when we force something out, getting a nice, eating a hit, getting a slow switch to regenerate health and bring something in that, puts us in a good position. Slowbro does this amazingly well, and I'm so hyped to have Slowbro on the team. I definitely feel like these two swaps have made our team infinitely better, by far. So I'm really, really excited to get to use these as soon as possible. If you would have already known that these were coming, because you would have seen the free agency report video over on the NPBF channel, which I will have linked below. But if you haven't seen that yet, go subscribe over there and go watch it, because it's pretty cool. We talk about all of the free agency transactions across the whole league and not just my own. So it's kind of fun. But, yeah, if you hadn't seen that yet, this will be going up the Monday, I believe, after our loss to Gaffino gets put out into the public. It just makes me sad thinking about it again. But yeah. Hopefully these two will be able to allow us to prosper going forward this season, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do. But yeah, that's going to be all for now. If you guys have enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you have not already. And until next time, I'm PokePrimer, signing off. Peace.